Hey guys, welcome to our review of The Boys Season 4, one of my favorite television franchises, especially from Amazon. This is one of the good ones that they've been doing, along with Invincible. Invincible is great. Yeah. The Boys is just freaking awesome. In fact, I even bought Zombicide painted miniatures for The Boys, so we'll be doing a Zombicide at some point, a little board game where you get to play as these ultra powerful superheroes. So stay tuned for that. It's season 4. Now, there was some recent rumors that the series might not be ending with 5, because a long time ago they were thinking, I think I need about 5 seasons. And then recent rumors that, maybe it'll go longer. And I think there was a bit of a backlash to that. And, people got a little angry and upset. It's like, don't drag it out. And I was actually one of those where it's like, I wasn't angry or upset or spitting vitriol, but I was like, 5 sounded good. Let's do 5. Well, it recently just came out, The Boys to End with season 5 at Amazon. So showrunner Eric Kripke broke the news on social media. So basically, the premiere week is a good time to announce season 5 will be the final season. So we're going to get that final battle and this big, huge, epic conclusion in season 5. He said, "It was always my plan. I just had to be a little cagey until I got the final okay from Vought." So maybe his words got twisted out of context, and then the internet went wild. And it's unfortunate that happened, because I don't know, maybe it kind of did a little bit of damage to the psyche of the fan base, because I think a lot of people were super excited. But he says, thrilled to bring the story to its gory, epic, and moist climax.
Moist.
Yeah, he definitely still see you for our final season, motherfuckers. The announcement of the show comes 2 days before the premiere, so it's already premiered June 13th. You get 3 episodes right out of the gate. And thank God I actually like, getting multiple episodes in chunks rather than just doing one and waiting. A lot of series, don't really craft each episode to hold that. Stuff like Acolyte and shit like that. But anyways, we get 3.
Don't see that. I just ate.
Okay, so episode 1 is called The Department of Dirty Tricks. Then we've got 2, Life Among Skeptics, or Septics, rather. It could probably actually go either way. We Keep the Red Flag Flying Here is the 3rd episode. So what did you guys, I guess we'll just jump right in. So after the wait, what did you guys think of The Boys Season 4 premiere?
Still good stuff. I'm enjoying these episodes, but I do feel like we're getting sidetracked with too many side plots.
Yes.
We got the Kiko one. Mm-hmm. We got the Huey one. Then I forgot the
Frenchie.
Frenchie
is the new relationship, a love triangle.
Yeah, I just want to kind of rein it back in. Let's focus on the main plot, and then obviously Butcher with the son, because that's still part of the main plan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
and then you got a little bit of the what's his name, Mother's Milk again. With Butcher butting heads. It's supposed to about for the control of the team and whether they can handle it, whether he hasn't the asshole in him in order to run the team.
We saw his asshole.
I was hoping that's somebody else's asshole. I don't think that's Butcher's asshole.
But it's still enjoyable. I love the gore. I love the shocking factor. The comedy's still there. It's still a good show to watch.
Yes,
but
for sure.
Just those things for me.
I agree with you, Joe, in that, we've seen some really high highs from the show. We're talking 10 out of 10s.
For sure.
We've seen some 9 out of 10s. So if you're talking on the scale of The Boys, this feels a little lower on the Richter scale.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think the Boys is a really strong IP, and they've done a really good job. And so it's early on, and so them being strong in the previous 3 seasons, I'm going to allow them to say, look, I imagine you're going to give it your all towards the end of the season. You're going to pick things up. We're going to close off some of these side things. The focus, they are really trying to push some political buttons. They're really trying to push some of these side characters. I know that's always part of the thing, but it's like I have a tolerance for some amount of it before I was like, all right, now let's get back to the there's some juicy stuff happening in the main storyline, and I'm just anxious to get there, and then Then we go on and do another thing, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, that was pretty good, but can we get back to this other thing I'm really excited for? So I think it's just a problem when you have a series that has 5, 6, 7 plot lines. When you're on one that I care less about than the main one or another one, then I'm almost a little disappointed when we go on some of those things. But I still think it's operating at a really high level. The gore is there. The violence is there. The people getting called words I'm not allowed to use on YouTube are there. And so it's still great watching.
Yeah, it is. It is a symptom of expanding the story a little further out, I feel like. So when you do that, you say, okay, well, where can we mine some interesting stories, right? I said, okay, well, we got the backstories of the heroes, individuals. We've got the backstory of where they got their powers. We've got the political intrigue of superheroes and humans trying to live together. All that stuff, super, super fascinating. And that was previous seasons. Now we're at, and we diving into the boys, individual members of the boys and their backstories. Now, we got a little bit of that already in previous seasons.
Which is fine.
And we're going even deeper here. And honestly, I'm like, nah.
Yes.
I don't really care about Frenchie's, love interests. I don't really care about, so it's like we're expanding on there, and I feel like that's all content because it's like, okay, we got 5 seasons. We got to kind of, where can we mine some interesting stories? So these particular stories, unfortunately, are not as interesting as what has been set up already and what is supposed to be continuing to happen, which is these two political sides. Now Homelander is kind of cheered and encouraged for outright murder of his opponents, essentially. And, we have a political plot line, which it's kind of muted here in the first 3 episodes of the president and the VP. The VP being Vicky, and she's trying to gain power, trying to get a slot, and she'll eventually probably kill the president and then get rid of all these anti-soups laws. And she's cooperating with Vought in that way, versus the other side where the elected guy who wants to be president is like, well, we need to kill this bitch and get rid of her, and he purposefully tries to keep her out of meetings and things like that. And so this can and then will eventually spill over into the public. And I think that's where everybody's waiting for, which is these a big superhero rumble fight at the end, the conclusion of Homelander. That's where I think a lot of the intrigue is. Now, anytime you go into Soups' backstories, I'm more interested than the boys' backstories. Because I think that the boys, I don't know, each individual character are great, but they were never that interesting to me, except for Butcher. And anytime you have a superhero backstory, and we're getting teases of that in the next episodes, we will be going and exploring more of the Homelanders, the birth of him, his home, the backstory. We got touches of this in previous episodes. It looks like we're going to be teased. And that has me excited.
Yes.
But if I were to say overall, I feel like this debut was a little weaker than I expected. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm not excited. I'm still going to play my board game. I'm still going to enjoy being Homelander and fucking laser beaming zombies. I don't know how it works if you're so powerful. I know they did a Marvel Zombies at tabletop, and then seeing more episodes, like how exactly this is going to play out. There's already, and whether what's his name, the famous actor from Breaking Bad, Esposito, Giancarlo, whether Giancarlo will show back up, because his words echo so much through this particular season, where it's like, you want to be the big boy in charge. You want everything? Okay, well, you're going to fucking regret it, kind of thing. And he's finding that Homelander is not necessarily equipped to handle being CEO. We saw a little bit of that in the second season.
Pettiness and just the way
super
he is.
pettiness.
Like he can't
by episode 3, I think it's already fucking falling apart.
It is, and it's great.
So to kind of wrap up my ideas here, it's like I'm glad the show is not going any further than 5 seasons, because you can only mine the tension of Homelander. Is he going to crack at that moment? You know what I mean? And then once he cracks, are the boys ready for it, and how do they take him down? That's what we're heading towards. I think we only need 4 and 5 to get it done.
Yeah, I agree with that. And kind of touch back on the boys. Like, I had enough of little backstories. Like, okay, we kind of know why they don't like the soups and this, and they brought them together. That's enough backstory that I
enough.
need. Yeah, it's enough. I don't
And then
need
we're
to go-
expanding even more.
Yeah, and that's why it's kind of faulting for me.
Yeah, I mean, well, nothing about Frenchie's side, like it's not compelling for me. It's not it's not linked to the main story, and it doesn't feel dangerous.
Frenchie's new boyfriend, and they're constantly kissing in bathrooms, and it's like, I don't give a fuck. And here's how they made it they tried to make it interesting,
He's
where
torn.
he murdered his new boyfriend's whole family.
Yes.
And is he going to tell him, I have something to tell you? And
Yeah.
then they ended just kissing.
Yeah, that's something. It could be interesting in
I
a
don't
different
care.
TV show or different season. It's like we're towards the end and we're kind of wrapping things up. And it's like this was
Do
the
you know what this show's about? Like,
Yeah.
fuck you. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, like it's too late to be adding stuff like this, in my opinion, and so like that's why some of those things weren't working
Yeah.
for me. You gonna go on to final verdicts?
Yeah, let's go to the sort of season premiere opening kind of rating. So what we'll do is we'll do an opening rating, and then we'll go into the breakdown and give individual ratings for each of the episode. But if you were to aggregate these 3 episodes into one, what would you think?
I would say probably a 7, which I think is like for me when I say 7, like 7 is good. It's a good premiere. There's 5 is average, 6 is above average, 7 is good. I don't think it's perfect. I think it's a little weaker than previous seasons. There's a lot of the side stuff that we talked about, but there's a ton of potential. So it's like 7 with upside. I'm looking forward to the stuff with Vicky and the president. Like who's going to be who we take down this season? That's what I'm interested in because you can't take down Homelander this season. So it's like we have like what is the end game for this season? And I'm excited. I'm excited to figure out what those things are. But I'm just less concerned about Huey and his mom. I'm less concerned about Frenchie and his boyfriend.
That's another good backstory.
And it's just
that we
like
forgot to mention.
it's
not good, but like spinning its wheels. Backstory.
Yeah, it's just like stop it with that stuff. Honestly, they could have cut it out and shortened the runtime, and I still would have been happier, and it may have been tighter for me.
Yes,
so
for sure.
I think that this is a good premiere, but it's not a great premiere.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was gonna go with an 8, but like I think the 3rd episode kind of like dropped it a little bit, a couple points for me. So I'm gonna go with the 7 as well.
Yep.
Let's just try to wrap that up first and go back to the main plot. Then we could go back to 9s and 10s. And
Yeah.
8s.
If we do individual episodes, like I could see a 7, but I'm actually going to grade on a curve and down because I'm grading on the curve of the boys, and I feel it was disappointing. I'm going 6 out of 10 for the premiere. But what I think, it's good. It's just not at the levels we've seen before. This is a premiere. You need to be bringing your big guns and setting stuff up, and I felt it was just weak. It's probably as worse as it's going to get. I feel like we're going to get better and more interesting from here. So I'm going to go a 6 out of 10 on the premiere for season 4. That doesn't mean that each episode is 6 out of 10 or worse. It's just I'm kind of aggregating the scores. In fact, we'll go into the individual scores here in a second. So, as Alex said, I am curious. Joe, what do you think? How is this? How do you think they'll wrap it up? You know what I mean? Like, what will this season be about? Here is what I'm thinking currently. We will, like I said, we're spinning our wheels on everybody's backstory, but eventually it'll go to battle lines drawn. We're getting A-Train over. That's has been in the works forever, and I was frankly growing impatient with A-Train.
Just fucking do it already.
Fucking either make a fucking choice, and he has finally made a choice here. He's gone full on. So that's the big thing. And then. I don't know what the hell.
You think this season? Because I think that's season 5. I think that this season we resolve the Sage and the Vicky. And those are the only 2 things that get resolved this season.
You think Vicky gets resolved? I feel like Vicky will go all the way to the end, and the politics and maybe them trying to take over the government leads to outright,
It could.
conflict.
I mean, it absolutely could. I'm trying to think of like if we have to divide who the big bad of season 4 is.
Who's gonna die?
You can't be Homelander, right? So he's off the table. And so who do we have? We've got Sage, we've got Vicky, and we got Sage, and we got Vicky,
and
then
the new ammunition lady or firecracker lady.
She's like minor
Right.
care.
Yeah,
like she got beat up by like normal people
She just
halfway.
takes off running.
So it's like I think she's gone or gonna die this season anyway. But like for big bads, it's like I feel it's like Sage, and I would probably think Vicky.
I feel like by episode 3 they just resolved Sage. This is wild because I have no idea where it's going, and I'm a little worried if this whole season is going to be spinning its wheels, and that's why Eric says, no, don't worry, season 5's the last. Yeah. You know what I mean? Okay, so one thing we forgot to talk about before moving on to spoilers is The Boys is known for the shocking scenes.
There was.
The Boys is known for grossness, sex and nudity and gore and brutal kills. Do you think that it lived up to the reputation in the first 3 episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good.
I mean, it wasn't.
Gore's there and.
No, I don't think anything's gonna top the scene. I think it was season 3 of the tunnel.
Yeah, they've gone real far.
That one was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But this one had a lot of just like
We had a lot of dicks.
there was the train, and then there was the ice skating scene.
The human centipede. I put that out of my
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah, so that's a big one.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so it's like there's a lot of ones here, not as big as
We
previously.
We do see Kiko. Is it Kiko? Kiko. I forget her name. The Wolverine-like powers really, coming into effect and being funny.
Kaneko.
There's good jokes from time to time. I'm hearing jokes. Joe chuckle over there, and the. The Deep gets his own scene, which almost feels like it's its own spin-off kind of thing, where they're taking it so serious. There's a cameo from a famous comedian that, I don't know, I guess it's perfect for this particular thing, but I don't find him particularly funny or endearing, but I guess it works for the point they were making. And we'll get to all that in a second. So, okay, so The Boys still delivers there. It's not quite at the heights that it has been before, but it's still satisfying. As far as, fight scenes and stuff, there's definitely some cool ones, but it's mainly between, peons, NPCs, and, soups. So nothing big, like not soups on soups yet or anything like that. Somewhat, actually, yeah. There is some lower level suits.
Yeah.
Okay. So 776. That's our final verdicts, and now we'll go into the individual episode breakdowns with the ratings. Hey guys, welcome to the episode breakdown. So the first episode is called what do they do? Yeah, Department of Dirty Tricks. And what is that referring to basically?
This one was they're trying to what's that guy's name? Negan.
Oh yeah.
They recruit Butcher, trying to get a hold of his son because they want to make sure we don't have another Homelander situation. It's like we need to train him and get him on our side. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to help him out, and Butcher's kind of like teetering back and forth because he's about to die as well.
Get kicked off the team,
and he's getting kicked off the team. And they find out he has 6 months to live.
Yeah.
So,
in fact, even Homelander is the one that noticed, like, the black mass near your brain. Like, I feel sorry for you or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but in episode 1, we have the boys. The Homelander is bringing his son under his wing. We have a scene of him in a urinal, and he plucks one of his pubic hairs, and oh my God,
his gray hair.
His gray hair. He's feeling old. He's feeling like he's losing. And why is it so long? Man, that man needs manscaped. Okay.
He's over there pissing with his gloves, though. Then he goes over there and starts touching his son and everything else.
Yes,
I'm like, that's
yes.
You didn't wash your gloves.
Homelander's the bad guy. Okay.
So he's allied with Vicky, and they got to get this libtard out for president because he's an idiot, and they want to prevent him from winning. He actually says that.
Yeah, the opening scene's about them trying to assassinate Vicky. They are trying to sneak in. They're trying to kill her because they were set up as the goal. The president has kind of brought them in. It's like, I need this lady dead before she pops my brain. Mm-hmm. So they developed an acid. And they're gonna put it in her eye drops and
sneak into a room.
Yeah,
it does jack shit. In fact, Huey even throws it in her face at one point.
Fuck you!
And it does jack shit. So
that
plan didn't work, and I was like, why did it fail so spectacularly? I thought it was developed to, I don't know, work.
They don't have the samples of her skin. They don't know that she's crazy strong.
They gotta try something.
Yeah. So anyways, that's when we see Homelander sees that Butcher has barely any time to live. Vicky calls a truce with the boys. She's like, look, it's like, She has the capability of killing them all, by the way.
Yes.
I like that threat where she shows up and Huey's like, hey, fuck, but she doesn't.
I'll kill your
She's
whole
like,
family ever you've ever
Yeah.
known. Like your dogs.
but if you
cats.
out me, then I'm
I was
fucked.
gonna kill everyone.
And I can't kill you because then I'll get outed and yeah. So.
Stop. Just stop being a dick. Stop.
So then we get the scene of looking at 25 candidates for replacements. There's some fun little things here of like generic superheroes that are all tropey, different things.
But then there's also one called Dog Knot.
What
that,
the fuck was
that
Yes.
fucked a dog. And it's
No.
It was a little more than
They
that.
said,
It's gross.
oh, this guy ate a dog, and then the
No.
deep was like, no, he ate out a dog. There's a
ate out
difference.
a dog. Yeah. Well, his name is Dog Knot. Never.
I was like, oh my god.
Okay. That's real bad.
Okay.
That's real bad.
Yeah, he's not on the team.
They eventually scroll across Sister Sage, and she's
Oh, I
like
thought
the
you were
smartest.
talking about the Wrangler, though.
Oh, go
From
ahead.
Texas.
Talk about it. Yeah.
From San
That's one of-
Antonio.
hey, one of ours.
Gunslinging. Of
Yeah, and
course.
he's like, that'll go up with certain demographics will go up, and it's like,
Yeah, but we had to hide all the bodies of the migrants he keeps murdering. So it's just like, oh.
He's just murdering people in the border. But eventually they come across his Sister Sage, and they say she's the smartest person in the world. And they have this running joke. She's like the smartest woman. She's like, no person, because there's another guy out there that might be smarter. Nope.
Qualifier, yeah.
So then it's A-Train that says, nah, fuck her. She was on this teenage team with me, and she opened her mouth too much, just talking.
She's
She's
so
annoying,
smart, yeah.
and they kicked her off eventually. So he dismisses her. But Homelander is slowly realizing, and I love the way they depict this,
I like this,
that everybody around him is just saying whatever he says. And he has to essentially do things. So when he actually wants to hear from other people, they're too scared to give him what he wants to hear or to disagree with him. And he's like, I am just surrounded by sycophants and fucking yes men.
He looks at the Deep and says, go suck A-Train's dick. And it's a long scene of like Deep slowly
Very
getting up
like,
and walking
no,
over. Like he whips
And he actually does it. He's like,
he whips his dick out and then he's like, fuck, stop.
you fucking
Like, no
idiots.
fucking pushback.
Yeah.
And then we find out, well, is this the episode we find about Noir?
No,
Well, Noir's
it's
been
a little
talking-
further in, but yeah.
Noir's
see,
been talking in that scene.
We
yeah.
were confused
Okay, yeah.
about the Noir characters. Like, why is he? He seems
does his-
different, and we'll get there. But eventually, on the other side, the team wants the boys want to cut Butcher loose, okay? And obviously, Huey is the one standing up for Butcher. But all this inter-team drama on the boys, I didn't fucking buy it. Went nowhere. He's like, get off the team. Eventually, Mother's like, all right, get the fuck out of here, get your shit, and go. And then the next scene.
Keeping an
Butcher's
eye
there,
on you, yeah.
and they just
He
team up.
saves the day.
And it's like, this is stupid. It's like, all right, well, that went nowhere. All right, so then Butcher makes a deal with Vicky, and he's like, okay, I'll fuck over Huey in order to do this deal with you. Later on in the episode, he has a vision of his wife that says, look, you got to do this a different way. You can't be fucking him over.
Yeah, because if those files get deleted, then she can just kill all of the boys with no remorse. Because that's the file they have on her.
Yeah.
They can prove that.
So that would have been stupid anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. Like, we never believed Butcher would do that, and he doesn't. And then he sends her a picture of his or anyone with just a random gaping butthole on the internet. Here's the file. We got the files for her. And she's like, yes. Oh, I finally. Oh, you
She's
son
like,
of a
mother.
bitch. Good look at that. Look at that. Anyways, then we get here the introduction of the new love interest for Frenchie. To throw a wrench in the Kiko stuff because they were kind of like connecting them together. Now all of a sudden they're like, oh, we'll never work, and no, I don't want.
We already
it.
did this.
Yeah,
we don't do this.
Yeah, we don't need new characters.
not.
Let's just finish what we started.
So then, eventually, Homelander needs advice. So he goes incognito. He goes into a normal dress and shows up to Sage's house. And she's got a bunch of books, and she's the smartest person. And this is an intriguing team-up. So far, this is one of the parts that's working for me. I want to know where this is going. I want to know how long she's going to last.
Yeah, I liked it. I felt like the threat level would have been a lot more intense, but after episode 3, I'm like, well, that kind of went
Yeah,
nowhere. That's why it dropped down to me.
If that is what we think it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it could be something pretty interesting. There's a couple novels where the bad guy purposely fucks themselves up so they can't undo. They're the only person that can undo their own plan, and so they know to like they've set everything into motion, and they're like, now all I have to do is coast, and the only person who can stop it is me because I'm the only person that knows, and then they do something
that's
about
what's
it.
happening?
I would love
That'd be
if that's
intriguing.
I'm giving
for
them
sure.
the benefit of the doubt.
So, and then Kiko says, "Don't worry, go for it. Go fuck your new boyfriend and Colin or something, and have fun. Don't worry about me." Later on, we see it's kind of affecting her more than she's letting on because she's drinking a lot and she's always very curious and asking questions. I don't care. Homelander wants his group to beat up, so he brings his biggest fans to a little meet and greet. And then he tells A-Train and Deep and Noir,
Beat them to
take
death.
these bats and beat the fuck out of them and kill them. It's like another good scene, compelling scene. But because there's been so many Homelander scenes, like, every time you do it, it's less and less, or it has less threat, but it's still a fascinating watch. They do it because they're super scared, and really it was a plan that Sister Sage, just Sage, came up with.
Yeah, that's another little convenience because he's like, well, I got to go find the dad or the stepdad because he's been missing for a while.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden he's like, oh, he's one of the chosen ones to get
Right,
beat.
yeah. I was like, I wonder if
he's
they're
like, oh,
like,
I have
we
the
gotta do
pictures
something
and we
with this
found
actor,
Sage here.
and okay, we'll just throw him
A
here.
little convenience,
and we'll
but
kill
fine,
him.
fine, that's fine.
So he's like, "Oh, I'm your biggest fan." And it's like, "Well, thank you for your sacrifice." And he's, "Thank you for being martyrs." And they fucking murder him.
Yeah.
A-Train kills him. The other one kills him. And then it was funny because once they leave the room, the Black Noir goes, "Holy shit, that was fucked up. Was that fucked up, guys?"
Like,
and
do we have to do
wait,
this?
what? Who's it? Why is he talking?
Well, yeah, he killed 2 people. So A-Train didn't kill anybody.
No, I thought it was A-Train that landed the blow.
Hey,
No, it was from the back.
Noir kills him from
It was from the
behind.
back.
So I don't think
he
A-Train
stops him.
Okay.
He
Yeah, so I
stops
don't think
him.
A-Train kills anyone.
He does cover up by transporting, not cover up, actually plant the
Oh,
body.
Yeah,
for
he
sure.
plants
He's
it, yeah.
he's guilty as shit. But
Okay, so yeah, and I guess the Sage's plan is to let these two factions fight amongst themselves, let it get out of control, and she's basically causing a lot of infighting. And then he can
Instigator.
swoop in and be the savior. But she's even doing some other things that I think are a little extracurricular, and I'm not sure why she's doing it. She stokes up the Deep. Oh, I guess she does it because that was the previous CEO. So her and Ashley are butting heads a little bit because Ashley's like, "Okay, I'm gonna do the seat." It's like, nah, I don't listen to you no more. I listen to Sage. So that's why Sage is probably like, don't let Ashley talk to you like that. The Deep.
superior, yeah.
And so then Deep is all like gets in her face,
It's a
he's
funny
so
scene.
easy to
But
manipulate.
it's a funny scene.
Yes, it is.
Because they're just there having lunch or whatever. He's like, I don't like the way you're talking. He's like, I didn't say anything. no, last time.
3 weeks ago. That's probably the only scene of the Deep that I like because I think we did. How many times did we do the octopus confessional?
We are doing the octopus.
Like, fucking
It's
stop
his
it.
love interest.
Stop it.
So, and then we finally get in the conclusion, Homelander is not guilty, and then all the MAGA
Well,
guys
say-
are like,
yeah. They're like, yeah.
and then the Starlight libtards are like, boo, and then Sage is there, and she like starts a fight, and then they start beating each other. Everybody's openly murdering, well, not
Yeah.
murdering, but really hurting each other, and so the police come in and
Start
all that
fighting.
stuff, and yeah. Meanwhile, they start the Huey subplot. His dad called him. He's in a coma. And his mom shows up. We've never seen Huey's mom. Like, what is this? Why are you doing this right now?
So you know what's
It's like a
going on
bad
out there?
soap opera. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like
Then we get the
You love me, Mom.
then we get the butcher with the dead wife, and then he shows Vicky the gaping asshole. So I liked it. I thought it was interesting. Saw a somewhat good startup.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 7 out of 10.
For this one, I would say an 8. Give some probably the higher one.
Okay.
7.
Alex? 7? All right, moving on to episode Dose, which is called Life Among the Septics. And I like the play on words because is this the truth? Or no, that might be the third one. Okay, so let's jump into episode 2. Will Ferrell shows up for his cameo. It's just really cheesy, and they're doing this like coach.
Blindside.
White savior
White
storyline.
savior, trying to pull him out of the slums, and it's like, why are you doing this and stuff like that. I'm trying to free you from the streets, and they're doing an A-Train backstory movie, right? And A-Train's not really
Training
feeling
A-Train.
it anymore. Meanwhile, when his
He's like,
early
yeah,
self would
none
be
of this
like,
happened.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I want this to be about me, but none of this happened. So Noir, he's kind of questioning his role. So we're setting up more disconnecting from the 7. Noir is talking a lot, and we're noticing, and they talk about how crazy Homelander's been, and it's like, I don't understand my motivation here, and it's like, this got a little annoying.
Yes.
It did.
So at first I was like, okay, Noir's back. Good. He's superpowered. He's got ninja abilities. He could fight. But I don't think that's a Noir clone. I kept thinking it would be like Noir clones, and maybe as we go further clones, then he's starting to question things, and he will eventually fight back. But I think it's a paid actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems to be.
Because he just all
And
he
every
does
time he
is
speaks,
just
I'm like,
start-
shut up.
Yeah,
You've
he's
already
being
had
annoying.
your-
It's like, I don't know my motive. I need a backstory. It's like,
Haha.
even Homelander just like, just shut the fuck
But
up.
this doesn't make any sense. Because it's like,
You're not allowed to talk. That's it.
they would just call up the actor anytime they're in public. Why is he there in the round table of the 7 doing input? If he's an actor, none of that makes any sense. So this is the thing that I got annoyed with. I don't know what they're doing with Noir. I hope maybe it still is a clone, and then the clone is asking for motivation to pretend. No, that's not going to work.
He just
But
had
anyway,
one funny moment.
what was the funny moment?
Where he fell asleep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm
Exactly.
sorry, I got knocked
They
in the
shouldn't
sleep.
even care if
They're
that
like,
guy
shut
sleeping.
up.
It's just about the disrespect. Hey, he should have just lasered him right there and found another actor. If it's just
Yeah.
But wait a minute, I think the voice of this guy sounds very similar.
Oh, it's probably the same
to
actor.
The actor before.
But I don't think
So
we're not supposed to know that.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, maybe they'll reveal more of what's going on with Noir here. Eventually, they will. Talking partisan heads sort of, stoke up hatred for the other side. So you got the different news channels. You get some allegories to Fox News, and then Tucker Carlson. Well, I guess he doesn't work there anymore. What is the other guy's name? Sean Hannity and that kind of stuff. That are like stoking up hatred and warping the truth and just showing one side to get these people riled up. Same thing for the other channels on the other side. And and then we get two sidetracks here. The Huey mom thing and the Kiko going to therapy thing. And it's like, this is going nowhere. They're small little scenes, and then boom. Then the butcher tells the team he's dying. And it happens so fast, and I feel like it was filmed in a way that they should have been done better, more impactful. It's like,
It's very matter of fact.
it's very matter of fact. And then Mother's Milk throws him out of the team. And and then he's like, get out of here. And I was like, yeah, I don't believe this. It's like he's still going to work with them. So then we get a scene where Homelander's son. So Homelander is... The one thing he cares about is his son, and his debuting his son. He wants to, they reveal his costume as Homeboy. And Sage says Homeboy sucks. And she just like outright says, challenges him. And this surprises Ashley. Somebody take over.
Yeah, I mean, she's right. She kind of explains, like, these are the successful ones. You're doing it in a way that's not going to work. And it's one of the first times it pretty much humiliates Homelander in front of his subordinates. And so he puts it, he remembers it. And then we go to the conference, right? The it's not the truther. I don't remember what they called it.
Truth Con.
But it's a place where you would go for Sasquatch stuff. But then you would realize that it's filled with all sorts of other craziness. And there's
Filled with septics.
yeah, there's the white supremacists, and the moon isn't real, and birds aren't real, and the world is a donut, and like all sorts of just absolutely crazy shit over there.
But a lot of it is actually really close sounding to real life stuff.
to real stuff.
And unfortunately, a lot of people do believe in this stuff. It sucks because I think, people actually believe in that kind of stuff. It makes them feel special in a way, part of a group, gives them a little bit of an edgelord high to some of the stuff they say. They call everybody pedos who disagree with them, and there's like rail against vaccines and transgenders and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
making they're the victims. But they explained it actually really well. Firecracker, like Sage asks Firecracker, "What are you selling?"
Yes.
And then she goes to explain. It's like, look, I'm selling purpose, and this is the reason. I've got a bunch of riled up people, and I can direct that rage towards something, all while selling dick pills and catheters and brain things and like all those other things.
Make
So
money.
And that's all that what it's about. It's like it's about.
And stuff like this happens today.
Yeah.
And, and it's a parallel to that. So, but Sage finds this clever. And probably... useful. And she knows that apparently Firecracker has a vendetta against Starlight. So her plan is to direct her rage and direct her angry fans and stuff against Starlight.
Who's a piece of shit.
Destroy that. And
Because Starlight was a major piece of shit, we find out. But this is also the scene where we get a guy that can split himself a bunch of times, like a bunch of times.
He's like a Discord moderator, or not a Discord moderator, a Twitch moderator for like a hot chick that like parallels to Amaranth or something like that.
Let me touch you.
Where he's like always
coming in for a hug. Is it no?
Exactly.
Well, so he goes in there. He goes into the steam room to jerk off, and so his prime version is jerking off to her picture, and then there's a train of other ones just licking buttholes all the way
the
down.
Human centipede.
And, well, they're not.
His mouth is so like fucking moist, and I'm like, why are we watching this?
He was frothing at the butthole, and he's giving his other versions
but there's
pink
a
eye.
payoff later.
Yeah.
What's the payoff, Joe? What is
they ambush the boys, and they have them pretty much dead to rights, and they start aiming, but then
that's the payoff,
eyes
right?
really
their
itchy.
eyes start itching. The guys like,
with the guns have
must
pink
be.
eye.
Yeah, the main one's like,
All right,
I guess there's some allergies or something. It's like, no, it's not. Licking booty hole.
You're always talking about your allergies.
Oh my god,
That's different. It's real allergies.
oh my god. All right,
But there's also Kamiko, like, I guess her side story. She sees a poster, and she's having flashbacks, and then starts getting mad. She gets all drunk, and then starts fighting a guy. And then I guess is this episod? Can they kind of
I don't know. They kind of run together. If it's not, I'll get you. But here's the thing. There's one scene I wanted to ask y'all. Well, y'all didn't watch Gen V, did you? I didn't watch Gen V. They didn't watch Gen V. But in the car with Huey and Starlight, they're talking about plans and stuff. At one point, a line says, "Has Kiara woke up yet?" No, she hasn't. I was like, "Who?"
Oh, that's the one they beat up.
The foundation. The Starlight Foundation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She gets like stomped in the face and her leg is broken.
That's what she was talking about. So far, there's really no direct mention of Gen V stuff. So you don't have to have watched Gen V in order to understand any of the things that are happening.
Well, good.
Here.
I don't believe in required reading of other
neither.
franchises that I don't necessarily care about to watch
Disney.
the mainline characters. Disney.
But Homelander does mean like we need to be pure and we need people that think like us, which I think was kind of some of the Gen Z stuff or Gen V stuff. Anyways, Starlight has this subplot where she doesn't want to be Starlight anymore.
How much do you care about that?
Zero. It's actually dumb, and I think Starlight's a little more strategic than that, but I guess she's got her feelings caught up in it and has guilt with regards to her her superhero identity. It makes sense because she's been outed as sucking the Deep's dick and all these other things, and it's got negative connotations with it. But there are true fans of Starlight, and she can hype her side up as much as the other guys are hyping their side up if she would fly around and do all her shit and do the Starlight stuff.
Yeah, this side thing is at least somewhat connected to the main storyline, so I care about it a little bit more. So it's like not on the bottom couple ones.
Yeah, it's still on the lower side for me, but and we also get this new thing where it's like superheroes are faking their saves. So how many of them have actually ever really saved one? It turns out A-Train has never really saved one. He's like telling his uncle's kids how badass he was, and then his uncle actually shows up and be like, yeah, that's all a fucking lie. You want to tell him the real truth, and they were actors. And it really hits home, and he's like, fuck. And this is, I think, where he started. And his brother's in a wheelchair now. So I think A-Train with this, and we have Starlight and Huey about to go get him and talk to him. Said, no, give him a minute. And it's like he's kind of coming over to their side by
Which
himself.
we knew.
We knew that they've set this up quite a bit. And then, so after rehearsing his son, so the same thing. So while A-Train got that fake save, Homelander and the whole team, PR team, is creating his son's first save, right? And they've got this big script, so it's like, and even the Sage is like, no, he needs to be his own thing. He can't always be under your shoulder. You're trying to hand the keys to the kingdom to him and make him and so she's like, none of that shit. So then when they actually do it, and then, they're doing it in public, oh no, the Deep is like, what do we do? And Noir's like, I don't know. And then Ryan shows up to save the little girl from this robber. And then he's about to say the line where he's like, I don't like bullies or something. And then Homelander shows up. We will do it together.
Like,
He's
oh,
like, God damn it. So it's like taking the spotlight from his own son. He wants to remain relevant.
He's like, do it.
Gotta always be around.
Do the thing.
Yeah, do the thing. And so he's like, all right. And he throws the stunt guy who had been nice to him and teaching and training him and stuff. And he accidentally kills the fucking stunt
Yeah,
man.
unfortunately, this was the trailer scene. I was like, oh, I really wish you had not shown this before because it would have been a cool thing to see the first time.
Yeah.
At least in the trailer, you should have showed the butthole eating thing. People would have like, no.
No, his son accidentally kills the actor dude, and it affects him, and he's crying about it. And Homelander thinks, "Oh, son, don't worry. I know I interrupted your debut, but you'll get over it, and we'll do this together." And he's like, "No, not
Your
that.
numbers are gonna be fine." He's like, "I'm not worried about that."
Oh, you're worried about that." Human, because the Homelander looks at them as toys. He's like, humans are toys. Get that straight. He's frustrated that his son has feelings.
But just to back up a little bit, I love that little girl scene. She sees him just splat the little actor. She's like, "You saved me."
Thank you for saving me. Oh my god,
it was
He's like,
good.
"It was a part of the plan."
I was watching her the whole time.
Yeah.
she's a good actress.
She
She did
is,
react.
and Homelander walks
She
in,
was.
and you can see like the amount of danger, and then she's like, "Thank you,"
Yeah.
and then
Bye-bye.
just walks
You
off. He's like,
saved
"Oh."
me. I was like, all right.
I love it. Just great
Yeah.
acting and setups. So finally, the fight scene happens at the Truth Con that we talked about. So the pink eye, and then it crashes into next door where they're having like a Jewish party. But it was like, was
Bat
that
mitzvah.
Marvelous?
Miss Maisel. It was a Marvelous
It's a
Miss Maisel
show
themed thing. So it was an advertisement
For
for another
Amazon.
Amazon.
Or not Netflix, Amazon show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got this naked dude. His fucking dick is flapping everywhere. He's like splitting
five of
himself.
them.
There's
Just show.
and it's like, oh, gross. It's like having to fight that. He's not a good fighter. He's not strong. He just makes duplicates of himself. But eventually they kill Prime. And apparently it kills all the other clones if you kill the Prime, and he confesses his love real quick for Firecracker, and she just doesn't even react
It's like,
to it, really.
Jubilee. Let me see your powers. Pop.
Oh, so previously Sage asks, what is your powers? I was like, that's terrible. But she's like, I'm also really strong. I wish they would have shown that a
Yeah,
little.
it's
But
like,
she's
how
able
strong?
to fight Kiko,
Yeah.
and hold a little.
Yeah.
I think they upped her power a little too much, because I don't think she's on Kiko's
She
level.
was 10 beers in though. So like if you think
Oh,
that she was
okay.
if she's very drunk, then
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. What else? His son is.
She
we
starts
already talked
live
about-
streaming. She's like, "Look, the CIA are here. I've cracked like the ring or whatever,
Right,
and
right.
here's the proof." Then it shows The monk.
Tony Shalhoub, who I love. I love Tony Shalhoub. He's great.
It's a joke. It's a good joke.
Yeah.
Because it shows you how stupid these people are, but they take it all serious. It's well acted and well done.
Yeah.
And she cracks her veneer a few times to let people know that she is selling a lie, and she knows it. But she has all the boys are about to kick her ass, so she just decides to run instead of fight them, which was a good idea because she would have died. Eventually, Homelander gets sick and tired of his son. Actually, has a talking with his son. He shows up with a milkshake. He's like, and by the end of the scene, grabs that milkshake.
I drink a milkshake.
Give it back to me. To show that Homelander's just a little fucking kid, a little immature motherfucker. I do think he cares about his son, but only
from selfish reasons.
From selfish reasons.
Not for no altruism there.
Yeah, and so then they eventually A-Train decides he talks with Muscle Milk, Mother's Milk tricks him into showing up, and they have a discussion, and I think he decides to help him. So he brings up the files, and it allows the Starlight to get her fans out of jail. And then she makes the decision, all right, fine, I'll be Starlight. So then she hypes up her fans, and she lights up, and she steps up. Because she's like, fuck, if A-Train stepped up, I got to step up. Yeah. And then Colin calls Frenchie, and Frenchie's like crushing pills and snorting them. And then
he's having a big, like, this is the big problem where he's revealing that he killed this dude's whole family.
Lady, and she reveals that he murdered his own family. I don't care. The episode's about to end. Yeah. Huey yells at his mother for abandoning him, and she cries. I don't care. Shining light terrorist cell in New York City. Oh, so then this gives Kiko and Frenchie something to do in the next episode, but it just feels like it's just thrown in for more padding and more wheel spinning. And then Butcher's like, look, so y'all got away with it this time, but next time somebody's going to die. And I'm like, oh, okay, somebody going to die?
No, it's only season 4. No one can die till season 5.
So that's it. 6 out of 10.
7.
At best.
I thought that there was a lot of funny things in the truthers thing. Like there were so many funny like bumper stickers and ridiculous shit. That's like the only reason I would consider the pink eye thing. And then so it's like probably 7.
And the human centipede.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of like lows. Like the lows in this episode were much lower, but I think there was some funny stuff in there. So I'll stick with 7.
Finally, episode 3, we got the debut of the new 7. They introduced Sage in her costume. She's like, ugh, I was supposed to be in the background, and he just really doing it just to fuck with her because she's talking openly against him, and he cannot help himself. She
even said it too whenever they first met. It's like, you're not going to be able to handle this. I don't want to be part of your team because you can't.
Yeah, and he says, I'm petty, and he's admitting that he's petty, and so this is probably going to lead to the whole thing falling apart, even though she's doing good plans for him. So Firecracker then shows up, and she's ranting about transgenders and vaccines and stuff and creating that whole mess so that her fans can fight Starlight fans. And then we get, what is this? More passionate kissing in bathroom?
Yep.
What is that?
Colin.
Oh, yeah. Colin stuff.
Tell you.
Don't care. And then we get the politics where, Vicky is butting heads with the potential president. And, they're winning.
Right?
Yeah, but it's such a dumb thing. Like, I know that they're trying to drum up drama for the show, but, like, they've shown that the president knows the danger that he's in, right? Yes. Like, he's trying to have her killed. There's zero reason he would be pushing her buttons right now because he's afraid of fucking dying. And so it's like, this is the episode where it's like, look, I get it that you're trying to stretch this shit out, but like this isn't the way to do it. This is actually, we're getting into the sniffing, like this is kind of dumb writing to like stretch the show out, and I don't like it. This was the one where it did take a real big dip.
Same.
So then we get a Butcher talking to his son, or Homelander's son, through the video game.
Yeah.
And this looks exactly like Mortal Kombat. I'm like, damn, man. That's like, did they get consulting from NetherRealms, or they just straight up copying?
The Crucible devs have nothing to do, so it's like, hey, this entire studio that we bought, your game failed, so make us a fake Mortal Kombat.
I'm wondering if maybe they got the Crucible devs to do that. But anyways, looks they even have the individual slow down X-rays and then end him instead of finish end her instead of finish her, and it's previous characters that we've seen before in previous seasons. I forgot their names.
Lamplighter.
Lamplighter
Something.
and the
Crimson,
Crimson
something,
lady.
something.
Yeah.
He
The
sticks his
fatality was pretty
yeah,
brutal.
all the way up her butthole through her
And
eyeball,
slams it.
and then
You know, actually, I kind of want a 7 game. I kind of want a The Boys game, a little fighter
You
like
go
that. I
back to
think it would work.
Mortal
A little
Kombat.
$20 game, makes fun of Mortal Kombat or takes Mortal Kombat to the extreme. Where the more extreme Mortal
Justice 2 is kind of the. You can just
So then we get some more internal stuff in Homelander's mind. He's just trying to keep things together. He's just really annoyed. He's losing it. He's got more gray hairs. He's like storing all of his gray hairs in a
Yeah.
jar. His pubes.
He's a weird guy.
He's a weird guy.
Fucking weird.
Yeah. And this is where we fully understand that Noir is not a noir. He's just Black Noir. He's an actor. And yeah. Sage gets instructed to be the CEO, and Ashley is now a figurehead. So we get a subplot with Ashley, and she's like super frustrated. And I don't know, she has some guy. She crushes some guy's balls.
Tucker
Dominatrix.
Carlson. That's Tucker Carlson. She has him over to smash
Oh,
his
that
balls.
is the guy.
Yeah.
Okay. And so after that, Ryan visits Butcher. Now, this was the scene Joe was talking about with Negan, who is like, look, why, you're having trouble with your team, but like we're out there. We cannot let these superheroes kill us. So we've got to come up with plans. We need to train your son. He wants to take his son and train him to fight Homelander. Butcher doesn't like the idea. He doesn't want to like have his son go up against Homelander, but begrudgingly, it's like this is the best option they have. So he has some cookies in a jar. I guess it's supposed to knock out his son. He offers his son some cookies. Son doesn't take it. But they actually get some quality time together, and it's a good scene, and it is definitely helping bring Ryan over to Butcher's, side, showing compassion for, humans, and
Accidentally killing someone.
Yeah, he's telling his, it's like, well, Homelander says I shouldn't care, but
just
I do,
toys.
and they bond.
Over some foosball.
Foosball, yeah. So then Frenchie and Kiko go on a mission while he's high, and we get rubber duckies coming out of a guy's neck and bubbles all over the place. And I'm like, French, what are you doing here, Frenchie?
Kimiko is like, what do you, like, before he enters, he sees the light, and he's like, all right, well, this is going to be kind of weird. And I already didn't really care about this. I was
don't care.
focus about something else, but
100%.
she's like, all right, well, that happened to her in her past, so we have to go more in depth with this. So she goes over there and starts killing the kid traffickers or whatever. Then she runs into, I guess it's her sister,
Her former
or
cellmate or
former-
someone that she used to fight in the past.
Yeah,
Yeah, like the show is not treating this, like it's not setting it up super well, and so they're not treating it as important, so I don't feel it's important. So if I don't feel it's important and you're not, I feel like you're wasting my fucking time.
Yeah, it is wasting our time, the Kimiko stuff. It's cool fight scene, but
I like the
when it
fights.
doesn't really have the impact of us caring about it, it's just half there.
yeah, like, oh, cool fight, but
Cool fight.
move on.
And then Homelander eye lasers an employee because they found the leak. He's like, don't worry. And Sage is like, don't worry, you're safe. Can you promise her you're safe? And he's like, yes, I super promise. And the second she says, okay, guys, it's a like fucking kills her. And Sage is like, don't you think she might have had something, important to say, or would have revealed something else? And he's like you
Nope.
said, I'm petty.
Yeah.
So
The leak is plugged. There you go.
he is being unrestricted, and when he's unrestricted, he is his own greatest enemy as well. Okay. And then we finally figure out why the fuck Firecracker hates Starlight so much. And I'm like, previously I didn't care, but now I care. I was like, thought this was a well done scene. It shows Starlight has some fucking dirt in her past. She was on the pageant circuit, and when Firecracker used to be called Sparkler, and
She spread a rumor that the judges were pedophiles and had
Yes.
raped a contestant, and the contestant had a willing anal gangbang. Is actually what happened in the scene. So it's like, that's not just a little bit fucked up. It's like, yes, you're slandering another girl that's in the thing. It's like she spread this rumor that all of these, like, I'm assuming male judges are pedophiles.
Starlight was a mean girl bitch bully to Firecracker at the highest order, and then she says, I'm sorry, my mom taught me to be ruthless, and Firecracker is just talking right past that because she's in a moment, and
Yeah, because she went over there. It's like, I went to go confront you about it, and you told me.
What did you tell me?
I don't talk to
I don't
trash.
talk to fucking slut, fat slut and shit.
Yeah.
She's just a piece of shit. And she's like, I'm not that person anymore. And she's like, well,
You
I
ruined
think
my
you are.
pet
I still think you
days.
are, and I'm going to let everybody else. And the way I see you is how everybody else is going to see you. I was like, boom! I was like, oh, shit! So that is somewhat compelling, as opposed to all this other stuff that's going on. Huey hasn't really done anything this whole fucking premiere and debut. He hasn't done shit.
He crawled through some.
Now he does.
Yeah, he
So
crawls
this is the
some
one
things.
time.
He's in an ice hockey rink, but for whatever reason, the AC vents are hot. But they keep ice
hot
rinks.
as balls up
They
here.
keep ice. Well, because they need sweat later in the scene. But I've spent a lot of time in hockey. It's like
In
It
a
actually
vent?
makes sense because
vent?
if the fucking ice is cold, you'd have to pump in some hot air to keep it.
they
regulated
keep the
at
AC.
some
They
point.
keep it cold in there.
Yeah. Well, we have Vault on Ice, and so you have like this Queen Maeve with her
Happy
ice
holidays.
skates.
Don't
Happy
you mean
holidays.
Merry
You
Christmas?
fuckers, and then they're talking about Jesus and Christmas and the war on Christmas and all this other stuff that
I was like,
gets
damn,
talked about
son.
on Fox
Yeah.
News. And stuff
I need to
like
be
that.
a victim today. How am I going to do it? I know. Starbucks employees.
Yeah, and so he's crawling in the fucking vents, and it turns out a bunch of people showed up who weren't expected to be there. Vicky wasn't supposed to be there. The Homelander wasn't supposed to be there. Even Sage is there, and they're all talking amongst each other about these plans of what they're going to do and taking over the government. Once the president, will have you be the president. Why do you want to be the president? Is it because of your past and this and that? And all the other talking, Huey is trying to stay quiet because, by the way, multiple times, a lot of this doesn't work. You have to
Yes.
suspend your disbelief because Homelander, the second Homelander shows up, he already knows that they're all there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If the super hearing, because we've seen that before, but apparently
In
it's
the
deaf as
previous
fuck.
scene, too, he's like, well, I could sense your heart rate is like going crazy. So
Right.
he would have sensed.
But
He's
I guess
just
he has
right
to
there.
focus.
He's
and
right
just
there.
not right. But it falls, and a piece of sweat slams onto his little eagle, and then he immediately
He
reacts.
smells it. It's like, your
later.
camel's here.
And so he's running, and again, I have to suspend my disbelief, and I will. Homelander stays there, and he's just looking to laser instead of going over there and killing him. But he has a real risk of dying, but A Train, last minute, shows up, saves him. Because without that, he probably would have got him.
But we had a chaotic scene on the rink, though.
Yeah, what happened?
He's trying to laser him, and then MM shines some bright lights in his face, and then kills the May ice
Her
figure
she falls
skater.
apart, and her guts are
And
fucking sliding
chaos
on the ice.
ensues, where everyone's trying to run off
This
the
was
ice.
way over the top.
It was. People
So
like
I understand
slicing
the first
their
one,
fingers
slicing
off.
the fingers off.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, okay. But then, then as people are leaping up over, it's like they're purposely throwing their
Like,
leg
here's
out.
here's my
Yeah,
foot.
perfectly cuts another guy's, it's like, all right.
I was like, all right,
I think
come
when
on,
you're
it's a
doing
little-
it, boys, you feel like you need to always do the gore anytime something like this happens.
Yeah.
So it goes a little over the top. Not saying we don't like it. We do like it. It made us laugh.
I'll allow it.
Yes, it's like it was over the top, but
What I don't
liked
really
it.
allow is Huey going and talking to his mom and all this stuff. It slows it down quite a bit. He asks his mom why, and then she says that she was
Postpartum
depressed.
depression.
And she tried to kill herself on a bunch of pills, but failed. And then that day she left, which was the day that
You promised her.
Anyways, Butcher did not give his son the cookie, and Negan's really mad. He said, why'd you do that? And it would have knocked him out. And Jesus Christ, Joe, he's 12 years old. And the guy's like, yeah, but like he's our only hope. We either train him or we figure out how to kill him because he's going to take after his father. You have to wake up and understand like what's going on here. And so
And you don't have that much time. So
you don't have time. Exactly. And then we get the most confusing scene, hilarious scene. I thought it was an advertisement for Outback. I'm like, I wonder how much money Outback gets spent. But no, I don't think so. I guess this is just an implication that all stupid people watch TV and eat blooming onions.
it was
reality-
it was reality show. Like it's obviously out of her character. She's like slunched over watching some reality show, like women bickering about something. She's just like eating some Outback steak or Outback
Bloomin' onion.
blooming onions, and the Deep walks in. He's like, I got a bone to pick with you. That's my job, and this and that. He's like, oh, is that the Outback?
Because he's dumb too. And then she's
like, yeah,
like,
help
it's
yourself.
really, really good. And he's like, oh, this is so good. And she's like, you know, do you want to watch Terminator 2 or no, not Terminator, Transformers 2 with this and that? He's like, what? I
with the
love
racist Transformers.
Yeah.
It's like, Shia LaBeouf wanted me to be in
Honey Boy
Honey
2.
Boy 2, but the script isn't there. And they start kind of bonding. It's like,
He's like, I thought you were a bitch, but now I think you're cool. And she's like, you're hot. And then they start to make out.
then it pans down. You see, like,
What is that?
I
Is
honestly
she
think-
lobotomized?
Yes, that's what I think too. That the fucking.
But we were setting up such a good thing here.
That's what I was thinking.
Who
as well. It's like-
lobotomized her?
She did probably herself.
Why?
So now she can't stop her own plan. Her plan is done. She did everything that she wanted to do.
Why was she gonna stop her own plan?
Well, now she can't be. She cannot. Like, even if Homelander's like, I'm going to laser you if you don't stop this. There's nothing.
But she has no. Oh, you're saying she has another plan that's her own that has nothing to do with what Homelander wants.
Oh yeah,
her to
I think
do.
that she wanted to do her own thing on
Okay.
top of his thing, and then now she's set everything up, and now it can't be stopped, and
Right.
because she's not even. There's no
she's
way.
not even able to.
Yeah.
because she lobotomized herself. That's super intriguing. So right at the end, the episode goes back up for
Yeah.
me, but it's only on the potential
And that's
of
a
what's happening.
that's a maybe.
here.
Like, I'm just guessing because
Yeah, it
that
could
would be
also
cool.
be that Homelander's just fucking sick of her shit, and
And
he
yeah.
came in and lobotomized her and left.
Because he was already.
What else could it be?
That's what those.
Maybe
Temporary
that's how
thing,
she.
Remember, Joe. There's only two options.
Maybe she
Two,
doesn't like being smart all the time, and so she'll do it herself, and she can somehow reverse it
It's
because
an
she's so smart.
inhibitor chip or something that she puts in there so that she can enjoy the movies that he likes to watch.
Easy.
Wow!
Look,
Final rating.
You watch Sex Squatch, all right?
Final rating.
6 for me. Well, I'll give you a chance to think. I think that there were too many things in here where it's like, this is stupid. What are you doing? Specifically, the president scene, like him knowing that she's going to kill him, and then him stoking the flames and pretty much forcing her hand to kill him faster is just idiocy. And so it feels like we're going on too many side missions here, and we had done it a lot before, but this is the point where it's like, this is the third episode in a row where I don't care about the side missions, and so my patience was wearing thin, and so this is the one where it drops.
Yeah.
I actually may go 5 out of 10 here. There were some parts I really did like, but I think for the boys, if we're doing the boy scale like you mentioned, I think this is average.
boy
At 5,
scale.
fuck it.
Boy scale.
Yeah, this is like I said before. The third episode really dropped it for me because I didn't care about the Frenchie stuff or the Kimiko, their side plot,
Huey stuff.
the Huey stuff. So I'm gonna go with the 6. It was still good, like when we don't focus on that, but they should have cut out. or
Yeah,
tightened it up.
that is also where I'm at. I'm at this 6, and
Yeah.
and really the only reason why is because the last scene there, the intrigue between Firecracker and Starlight and
The A-Train.
kind of helping Huey at the end, but Huey's having nothing to do. This fucking all the rest of this, the subplots that are taking up time and not really working. But it was good. I could see between 6 and 7, but I am going to go with a 6 on this one. And I hope that it goes up from here. And honestly, the final scene.
it's
So
not
after
tied.
that, they set up Homelander is kind of losing it again, and he's losing patience with his son, throws something at a mirror, and then they start talking to. He starts talking to himself. So different fragments of his mind is saying,
Sensitive
quit being a
anger
bitch, and
and-
we need to finally get rid of all this, your need to be loved, and so we need you to go back home. And they show like literally his home, which is a fucking science
Science
experiment lab with big metal red door. So maybe we'll get some good stuff there as we come up, and we're trying to figure out what the hell happened to Sage and who is the big villain and how are they gonna die. How like Stormlord or whatever her name was, Stormfront last time. What's it gonna be for this particular season? Okay?
Yeah, because we still got to wrap up Frenchie and Colin, and then Kamiko and her friend or whatever.
Huey's
the
dad and mom.
Huey's dad and stuff.
Firecracker.
So it's still going to kind of linger.
It's still going to have all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which might make it like, whereas all the previous boys have been 9s and 10s, this one might be a 6 or 7. Who knows? But if it ramps up their hardcore towards the end, it still has the potential. But it's sagging just a little bit.
Yep.
All right, guys, what do you think? Do you agree, disagree? Do you think this is the best one so far? Or do you agree with us, maybe? So leave your comments down below, and we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.